Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about product development process. We will be talking about frameworks. We'll be talking about all the steps that is involved in building the product from scratch. We'll be talking through all the different elements, all the tasks, all the activities that we have to do in each and every phases. All right. So we'll get started. So product development process. So we'll start with a few questions to begin with. What is the first stage in the product development process? Commercialization, introduction, ideation, maturity. What do you think is the first stage in the product development process? Right. So is it commercialization? Do we commercialize immediately? We can't. Introduction, we need to do we have to introduce the product? So introduction, is it ideation? We need to ideate before actually building the product altogether. Maturity, which is where you have launched the product, it's in the market, and it's at a stage where we already a leadership position might be there, or you are there, and your sales are not going as well, but it may be slowing down at this point of time. So which of this it could be? So answer could be like maybe ideation, right? This is the first stage where you're actually doing trying to understand what could be a problem that you would want to be solving. Question 2. Which stage of the product development process involves conducting feasibility studies, market research, and assessing technical viability? Is it design and development? Is it idea generation? Is it concept testing? Or is it business analysis? So the design and development, as we know, I think is more to do with primarily designing the product, maybe from a UI UX standpoint, or building the product as in developing it. Second, it could be with respect to idea generation. What could be solutions that we can actually work on? What could be a different type of solution? What could be a solution which could be easy to build or not so easy to build? Concept testing, you have built a product and now you want to test it with maybe beta users, so that could be a concept testing. And the fourth stage, you're doing the analysis. What kind of analysis are you doing? You're doing an analysis whether it is financially viable. Is it with respect to feasibility as well? So answer seems like it is a D, right? So yeah, and it is D. So business analysis is the right answer. So during this phase, we are actually conducting the feasibility studies, we're doing a market research, and we're assessing the technical viability. Question 3. During which stage of the product development process are the prototypes and the mock-ups created? Is it the introduction? Is it maturity? Is it design? Is it growth? Introduction, you're taking it to the market. Maturity, we spoke of. Design and development, you're basically designing the product. So as it sounds, design seems to be more appropriate for this one, right? So the answer is prototype and the mock-ups. So for prototypes and mock-ups, the answer would be design and development. Okay, so that's C. For question 4, in the product development process, what is the purpose of concept testing? Is it testing the final product before the launch? Is it testing the technical feasibility of the product, evaluating the consumer reaction to a product idea, or testing the manufacturing process? So when we are actually talking about the concept testing, right? So is it, are we testing its technical feasibility? No, not really. You should have done this beforehand. So you're doing a concept testing. You want to check. You would like to figure out what are consumers talking about this. Is it beta testing really? Concept testing? Again, doesn't seem to be the case, because you're basically trying to test the hypothesis how consumers are responding to it. So it seems like it could be C, right? Evaluating the consumer reactions to a product idea. So C is the answer. So we'll go through different phases of the product development. Starts with ideation, product definition, prototyping, detailed design, validation testing, commercialization. So, as it all starts with the ideation, there is a particular problem in the problem space. You have identified a problem that needs to be worked on, and for that problem, you have to explore on different ideas that we can work out. So, explore on idea generation. We fill out different narratives. We try to explore all ideas. We go with a very open idea and try to figure out what will work, what will not work. Next, we create presentation for steering committee. Why do we do this? We are primarily building a business case, which we are going to take it to the steering committee so that we get a backing and finally build a product altogether. So they getting okay from the steering committee is important for us to proceed further. In the next phase, we talk about product definition. In this phase, we talk about the product discovery starts. It starts here. Product discovery is all about a phase where you go solution exploration. You are going to define, let's say you have defined three major problems. And for those three major problems, you will prioritize and identify whether those most important problems that you would want to be working on. And for that, you'd want to determine what could be different solutions which could solve that problem. It could be something to do with even an app, or it could be using a website. It could be with maybe just an API altogether. It could be just anything. You don't know really yet, and you like to figure out what is the smartest, easiest, and simplest way to build the product as soon as possible and take it to the market and learn primarily. Learn whether it's is this a really problem that we like to solve or not. We don't want to spend too much time in building the product at this stage. We want to figure out solutions using which we can do concept testing as soon as possible. All right. In the third phase, we start talking about prototyping. So once we have identified a certain solution, we like to identify what's going to get into our prototype, and what's the least set of features that we would like to build in order to achieve our goal, the product goal. What is our value proposition going to be? So if we have identified a particular value proposition, we would want the element of the value proposition to start showing up in our prototype, because that's our differentiator. We want to test the problem right here, right now. We don't want to build our value proposition later on. Once we have done that, we have created the MVP. What we would want to do is we want to take it to customers and try to see how they are responding to it. So market research is basically going to be where you're taking this MVP and then trying to learn about it. And so with that, you will in the third phase. In the fourth, we will do a bit of refinements based on the feedback that we're actually getting. We're doing a refinement with our design based on the user feedback from stakeholders and other. So those changes are being made at this stage, and accordingly we are updating our business plan and GTM. GTM is primarily to do with go-to-market strategy. How are you going to take it to the market? What does it take for us to take it to the market? What kind of spends that we need to plan for? What kind of organic and inorganic strategies that we would gonna have? So then we will have to make up the checklist strategy, so that we'll be able to figure out from the time we have actually building the product to finally taking it to the market on that nth day, what are the different GTM activities that you're supposed to be doing. So we figure out and we start acting on those as well. And number 5, we talk about validation and testing. So now you have the prototype, and with this prototype now you want to finally validate it in front of the eyes of the customers. Earlier, in the first phase, you had done a prototype and you have done some bit of concept testing with a small group, and now we actually want to do a better validation. We want to learn. We want to understand if this is really going to work or not. So let's say that take assumption that your beta testing plus your launch has been a success. You have achieved the goals, the product goals you have achieved based on your product metrics that you've identified before building the product. That okay, at least let's take from standpoint of sales, you were expecting to make maybe 100,000 per month kind of a sale. If we are able to do that, that could be a success for the product. So if you're hitting those kind of numbers at that point of time, you know that okay, there is a good validation about that there is a need for this particular service, there is for this particular product. When you get that kind of validation, you move into the mode of now commercialization. This is where we get into building more features, more start focusing on other problems which other users might be facing, or the same user is also facing. Start talking about okay, what will be the new set of GTM plan that we would like to do for the reach to wider audience. All right, so that's with respect to discovery, product development, and the launch. So another view to the product development process. So you start with developing a large pool of ideas. Next, you do idea screening, and based on the idea screening, you try to get rid of unnecessary ideas. As part of the concept, the selected ideas are turned into concepts and are tested to find the best one. When you say tested, you're testing it primarily in the market. Marketing strategy. What will be the marketing strategy for your product? Business analysis. The business aspects of the new product is analyzed here. And product development, you actually build the product in this stage, and then test the marketing. The business strategy tested in the test market, so not entirely in your major market, but you want to just try it out with a smaller audience. And finally, when you see that there is a semblance of a product market fit, that's when you would start thinking of commercialization, which comes much later. All right. This sort of will give you an idea with respect to the roles that are actually involved at different stages. During the introduction, you have the product owner, UI UX team, engineering team, community liaison, stakeholders, design and research team, data science. If you see you already have tons of data to work with, then there is discovery and design where there is a product manager, product owner working with UI UX team, engineering lead. You work on your ideation, and then comes the development where engineering team is having the necessary designs from the UX team, and they build a product with the stories provided by the product owner. The next, you have, let's say, build up a prototype. You keep sharing this with your stakeholders. You keep continuously taking it to select focus groups and try to understand what kind of response that you're getting for your as your prototype is actually evolving. And then evaluate. This is a stage where you basically want to evaluate with the group, primarily internal, with respect to how the prototype is turning out to be. And then the production launch. This is an instance before the launch. You would like to have your communications team, PR team, marketing team. The GTM plan comes into effect, and you work with the teams in order to finally launch the product into the market. And evaluation is a stage where you want to have necessary analytics which are in place. You try to use all kind of tools like heat maps and other things in order to figure out what is working, what is not working, what features are being used, what features are not being used, what kind of engagement that the users are actually having on your product. And finally maturing and the support. Have necessary support teams in place, have a community liaison in order to continue building the product. Necessary supports have to be there in place in order to make this work. So you have the product development process here, so you can see here. So we can just see it as in the form of a flowchart. You analyze the current market, and based on that, you identify potential new markets, brainstorm on new ideas, and after brainstorming on new ideas, you try to evaluate which particular idea has the maximum market potential. Next, you look at the feasibility. When you're actually looking at feasibility, you look at feasibility with respect to business feasibility, financial feasibility, technical feasibility, whether are you or your team is technically capable of building this or not. Yeah, so consider all feasibility aspects before moving to the next step. If you don't have the necessary feasibility in place, then you go back and refine your ideas, otherwise continue. Based on that, you start building the product, test it in the market, and after testing in the market, if you are not achieving product market fit, there is a poor response, you stop the production. On the other hand, if there is a good response, then you go large scale. You start building the product further, and plan for a better GTM launch, and advertise. Then there is a launch day. All right, so move to the next one. Over here you will find key aspects with respect to things happening in each of these phases: concept, research, analysis, develop, and launch. So with respect to the concept, as you can see, there are idea generation requests. By this time you should have figured out what are those customer pain points. You should have the market studies, legislations, any regulations which are in place. You should have done your competitive research as well. Based on this, you can build a product concept document. With respect to the research work, you should have done your TAM SAM SOM. Understood which are there are different user segments which are there, and which are the user personas which matter the most, which of the segments which have the maximum growth potential, what are their customer needs, are there any legal issues with respect to what you're going after. Also understand what is your competition doing at this point of time, what is available at this point of time. Based on this, what you do is you build a market research report or analysis document. You build a market requirement document. You're building a market definition statement, definition statement. Product definition statement is primarily going to have all the information with respect to the needs, pain points, frustrations of the user, which you may have identified using your market research, user research. Then you have the analysis, and during the analysis, you try to see cost benefit analysis. It's very important for us to understand, is this financially worth as an organization, as a company, as a startup, for us to proceed working on this particular idea. If it is a really small market size idea, then there's a possibility that you may not be profitable in future, so might as well dump the idea right now than doing it later. Or there's an opportunity where you're able to filter out or refine your ideas at this stage. What kind of resources also that you're going to be needing, what kind of expenses will go into building the product. Based on all of these activities, you will generate the key deliverables would be business case, profitability analysis, and product requirement document. And next is in development stage. In the development stage, you are as a product owner, product manager, you're building tech specs, you're building user stories, you're working with the UI UX team, and you have getting the designs ready. Based on this, the development team is going to build the prototype. Using this prototype, you will then use that to take it to the market, keep getting the feedback from the users. The key deliverable during this stage is a schedule. So it could be like a sprint planning could be there, or a project plan could be there, or the idea with respect. Okay, you could also have a product roadmap, and the product roadmap with the milestones, and milestones with the dates. Then you have product testing report, and then you have the test market sales report. May not be that important at this stage, test market sales report, but primarily you focus on the development at this stage. um, you should review your these deliverables, and then try to see what would you like to do at this stage. You like to proceed with your launch or not, based on the response that you are actually getting. Next is, let's say that based on your development, you have got a go ahead to say, yeah, now we can go for a launch, considering your product is ready, it is in shape, it has got all the necessary UI UX element. You have not negotiated on the quality of the product, and in order for you to be able to do that, you should have your go-to-market strategy plan, marketing plan, sales training plan, distribution plan, any collaterals if that you are part of your plan, then you need to be building those. Define your launch date, and based on this, you should have the key deliverables are product launch plan, product launch budget, uh, product ROI forecast, and then the target launch date set. All right. This is a major product discovery framework. It's also used, is also called design framework. It's also called double diamond product discovery framework. This is a framework in which we look at problems and the solutions from a separate lenses. In the first phase, we are looking at the problem space as the first diamond. If you can see, one connected with the A, and in B, we are primarily focusing on the solution space, how you're going to be building this. So, as you can see, this is a stage where you're actually having a certain challenge. There is a certain problem that problem space that you are primarily focusing on. So as you can see here, that you're looking at designing the right thing. We need to basically figure out, are we trying to solve the right problem or not. That's ideally the focus here, area over here. So it all starts with the discover phase. During the discover phase, we redo the research work, and during the stage, we try to understand, let's say if you're working for a company, you understand there will be certain briefs that might be given to you. So you go through the brief, try to understand what kind of different emerging themes are coming out of it. Try to cluster them, try to understand them better, and then we do our research work. You do your secondary research, which is like straightforward. You can go through the all the data that is actually available in the market, do your market research, go through your competitors, try to understand what's going on with them, what kind of challenges the users are facing, what kind of feedback are the customers giving to to the competitors, who are the market leaders, what kind of revenue that they are achieving at this stage. Are they doing financially well? Are they using AI? Are they using low tech, high tech? Are customers happy with their solution or not? Are there any market unmet needs that we can actually discover at this stage? So you should have also done your SWOT analysis, or Porter's 5 forces with your secondary research. And when you're doing your primary research, you're primarily focusing on the user research. Try to understand who are your users. Try to interview as many number of users as you can. Based on the feedback that you're actually getting, you start then segment your users, understand, do it based on demographic, psychographic, anything that you're able to learn. As part of the market research, you may also want to do some ethnographic research, where you are actually sitting next to the potential customer and try to understand how they are actually using the existing solution at this point of time. So all this data kind of helps you define what are the different problems, challenges which the customers are actually facing. During the define stage, we start documenting all our research findings, right? At this point of time, during your first half of your diamond, where you have an unstructured research finding, and now you want to document all those insights in one board. Everything you are able to get hold of, maybe from the user research, do it from the market research, and you put them on the board, learn all the insights, all the what could be the pain points, what are the frustrations, what is what are the customers talking about, what kind of challenges are they talking about, what kind of frustration they're talking about. You put them out on the board, and then with that information try to build a theme of what of related items, how can they be grouped under one bucket. So you start grouping them into different buckets based on the themes that are emerging, and from these themes we will then look at which of these themes are which are more important to the user. So you may also want to prioritize these themes. So you're prioritizing these themes and try understanding what more matters more for them, which are the space where which is more affected for the users at this stage. So some kind of a prioritization is happening at this stage. So you may not be working on this alone as a product manager or product owner. You will have a team with you, engineering team or design team. Work with them, do kind of activity. Using that you will be able to understand